oogbezoek in de Antwerpse haven vandaag. Politici en CEO's komen samen om het te hebben over de toekomst van de chemische industrie in Europa. Ook aanwezig grote baas van chemiereus Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Thank you so
You're
much.
only going to ask me nice questions.
Only nice?
Only
Is
nice.
that the condition?
Jim Ratcliffe is een Britse self-made man, een chemicus die met Ineos een multinational uit de grond stampte, met ook verschillende fabrieken in België en met het controversiële prestigeproject Project One, een ethaankraker in de Antwerpse haven.
What we're building is a cracker. If you look at a new cracker today, it's 3 times cleaner than a cracker from 25 years ago. And all of the crackers in Europe are more than 25 years old. So this is a process of renewal. You're taking old facilities and you're replacing them with new facilities, which should be encouraged because that improves the carbon footprint of Europe. That is what America is doing on a very, very large scale. But in Europe there's been no renewal.
Daarom investeren we in een gloednieuw project, Project One, hier in Antwerpen. Maar wat is dat nu precies? Wel, simpel gezegd bouwen we een ethaankraker. Want door ethaan te verhitten komen de moleculen in beweging en wordt de samenstelling gekraakt, waardoor er nieuwe verbindingen en moleculen ontstaan, zoals waterstof en ethyleen. Een grondstof die dient voor essentiële zaken die bijdragen tot je levenskwaliteit en tot klimaatoplossingen.
De ethaankraker van Ineos werd in Antwerpen in 2019 met veel bombarie binnengehaald, maar reed een hobbelig parcours. Al gauw kwam er protest van milieubewegingen en ook vanuit Nederland. Er werden vergunningen verleend, maar ook weer ingetrokken. Begin dit jaar verleende minister van Omgeving Demir een nieuwe vergunning. Natuurverenigingen gingen opnieuw in beroep. En de werf, die loopt.
We're going at full speed, trying to catch up the time that we've lost, obviously, because the permit was taken away for 6 months. So.
Today, what is the projection, the amount of direct jobs that the new cracker would create here?
Oh, I think it's probably about direct jobs is probably 250. 250, but if you then take the associated jobs, which is generally a factor of about 7.
But previously, Ineos said it would be 450.
Maybe it is.
Actually 350.
Sorry?
350.
All right, there we go. We compromise on 350.
Na het interview laat Ineos ons nog weten dat er wel degelijk 450 jobs zullen komen. Terwijl binnen de industrie vergaderd, wordt buiten geprotesteerd door enkele milieuactivisten.
De chemische industrie heeft gewoon keihard gelobbyd de afgelopen jaren om de Green Deal, de pesticidenvermindering, al dat soort dingen van tafel te krijgen. Als je de Antwerpen Declaration leest, dan is dat 1 wensenlijstje van de grote vervuilers om door te kunnen gaan met vervuilen, minder regels en meer publiek geld naar de sector.
De bezwaren van natuurorganisaties tegen de ethaankraker gaan over stikstofuitstoot, maar nog fundamenteler. Over bijkomende plasticproductie en de extra CO2-uitstoot.
I have absolute sympathy with decarbonisation, but it makes no sense to substitute domestic production in Europe with imported products from countries where they're not regulated on carbon emissions like Europe is, because these people that you're talking about, they need to be careful that they don't increase the carbon footprint of Europe by replacing what is quite good quality production with lesser quality production in terms of carbon emissions. So they need to think about what the final objective is, which is, is to get industry to keep improving and reducing its carbon footprint, not close industry down in Europe and replace it with industry in Thailand or Malaysia or China or wherever else.
Toen de vorige Ineos-vergunning deze zomer werd vernietigd, dreigde Ratcliffe ermee het hele project in Antwerpen stop te zetten. De politiek schoot in paniek en beloofde alles uit de kast te halen om een nieuwe vergunning te faciliteren. Het kan allemaal op weinig sympathie rekenen van de boeren, die zich achtergesteld voelen ten opzichte van de industrie.
Heel de jongboeren pakken hun zekerheid af. En eerst komt hij met een dikke Jaguar en dan krijgt dat. Allee jong, hoe is het toch mogelijk?
I have to say a big thank you to Belgian politics, because the people we dealt with when the permit was taken away, they have been, you know, and it's Bart de Wever, it's Alexander De Croo, the Prime Minister, they've all been extremely constructive and extremely helpful in trying to resolve, you know, this huge problem that we had in August. And otherwise we would have shut the project down in August had we not been. But they have delivered everything that they said they would deliver.
Yeah. One could also argue that politicians shouldn't mingle and just let procedures be procedures.
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I think it's politicians' job to make sure the right things happen, not that procedures are followed. That was great. It was really, I think, yeah, I thought it was outstanding. Really, really, really good compliment. And the first time I've ever heard this sort of acceptance of the fact that we've got, you know, an issue in manufacturing in Europe. Yeah, I thought it was outstanding. And I thought your comments and Ursula's were excellent. Yeah,
good to hear.
They really were.
All right,
yeah,
now let's make it.
No, genuinely, I do.
All right.
How certain are you that this new license will hold in court?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, so, you know, there's not much in life that's certain other than that we'll die one day probably, and we'll pay our taxes. But I think I just come with this very strong belief that Project One is a really good thing for Europe. And ultimately, I believe, as a consequence of that, you know, we will finish this project and it will become active in 2026 or 27. Yeah.